This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for June the 25th. Race number 8 at Belmont. Nice race on this Friday. Mile and a 16th on the Widener turf. Let's take a peek at this field. Optional claiming event. $80,000 the optional claiming price. Non-winners of one other than the condition. You can download free Formulator Pass performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them and handicap along with us. Mike, the number 2, Amy C. This is a horse who I believe is a weanling in Europe, did not even attract a bid at public auction. Well, after she won a maiden race in France, she was privately purchased. She's with Chad Brown, and she's the morning line favorite in the feature at Belmont. You never know where a useful horse will come from.
That's true. It's all well and good to, be optimistic about a horse like her too, Dan, as she ships over here. The problem is that, because she now races for Chad Brown, she's the morning line favorite in a race like this. And it just feels like she's landed in a pretty good allowance field. Who knows how good she is? Maybe she'll win, but 2-1, really?
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Miss Delicious was able to go wire to wire in her maiden victory when controlling a moderate pace. Timeform US believes a similar scenario is possible here. Blue Bar favoring horses on or near the early lead. Amy C., the European evader, of course, lacks pace data, but she went gate to wire in her maiden win in France. Maybe she can be close to the pace.
Yeah, we'll see where she winds up. That's true. She did wire that field when she broke her maiden. She also had speed in her career debut. She was on the front for a lot of that race too. So, maybe she has enough speed to go forward again in this race. And if she does, it doesn't feel like she's going to have to work too hard to get to the front.
A horse with the tactical speed to work out a pace-tracking, ground-saving trip is the number 1, Earth Strike. Joel Rosario gets the mount. This horse was stakes placed earlier this year at the fairgrounds. Very unlucky last time out. It just looked like the jock tried to move inside in the first furlong into a hole that wasn't there. Horse clipped heels and went down. Seems like she's in good shape. And again, that tactical speed's going to help her.
Yeah, switches to Joel Rosario for this too, which isn't going to hurt. We'll see what she does. Obviously that was very unfortunate last time. We'll see how she does in this spot. I actually felt like, Dan, before that last race, I thought she ran well in each of her first 3 starts over here. I know she didn't win any of those races. I thought she ran well each and every time, and that includes the race at Belmont 2 back where, at the end of the day, she just bumped into a horse who's better than she is in technical analysis. But I thought she was a good second on April 29th.
And in that race at Belmont on April 29th, she did finish ahead of a horse that came back to win at this level with an 80 buyer. Amy C., the number 2, is the European import. She has yet to race on turf now. Both of her races in France came over a synthetic surface. She gets Lasix. It's Chad off a layoff with these European horses. The horse that she beat last time out, the runner-up, did come back to win her next 2 starts and is listed stakes place. So she has some credentials, but everything you said in the open makes sense. Maybe she wins this race, but 2-1 on a filly stepping up in class, trying a new surface, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, and not only that, when you watch her 2 races in France, she ran fine, I guess, but when she broke her maiden last time, that was the softest trip in the world. She got to the lead in there, didn't have to go fast, nobody challenged her, and she won clear at the end. So I don't know, it didn't feel like she did a ton of running to me in that race. I thought both of her races were okay. I would never bet her at 2-1.
The number 3 is Kitten with a Whip. This is the only multiple race winner in the field. She was claimed by a very sharp barn 2 starts back, and she rewarded that barn at Pimlico. Let's watch this starter optional claiming race back in May. And you see her on the outside right now. She took advantage of a very hot pace. She's going to mow down these horses, but this is a weak group.
Yeah, it's not a very good field. She did get a good trip as well. And listen, she ran well in this race. She wins it clear at the end. She's obviously in good form right now, having won 3 of her last 4 starts. And I respect this trainer a great deal. So there are things to like about this horse at a price. I just feel like she might have landed in a pretty tough race.
I wonder if the 4-3rd draft is just the usual MO for a Shug McGahee trained runner. You give her a few starts. Eventually, she's going to grow into herself and mature. Let's watch her maiden win in start number 5. This race is over good going, and she was on the outside, and she was kind of forced to go wide on the second turn. She's game to deny Miss Bonnie T, a horse that would come back and finish third with a 78 Beyer speed figure. I like this filly's tactical speed. You've got to like her pedigree and connections.
I like all that stuff too. It does feel like she's just getting better from race to race. It's funny, the horse that she beats there, Miss Bonnie T, I think that was the third, right in the middle of 3 races in a row where she just lost a close photo at the end, almost like she just can't get the job done. But I actually feel like Miss Bonnie T is pretty good. And this horse, I thought beat her fair and square last time. I won't be surprised when she takes another step forward.
Lasix on the number 5 Line Dancing, a filly that's taking a pretty substantial drop in class out of a couple of graded stakes performances. 2 starts back in the Edgewood, she ran third behind Gift List. I thought that was a solid performance. Last time out in the Regret, going a mile and an eighth, Mike, she just kind of got hung out to dry in that race and really didn't do much running until the very end. I think in this race she might be compromised by the lack of pace, but I'm willing to give her a chance on the drop.
Yeah, me too. I like the class relief for her. I guess Lasix going on could also help her a little bit, Dan. More than anything else, I'm interested to see what Johnny V does now as he takes over, because I like this horse. I thought she ran 2 deceptively good races last year as a 2-year-old. And I'm not sure what they've been doing so far this year. Obviously, they're tougher races anyway, but boy, do they ride her very conservatively in her 3 starts so far. I don't feel like she has to be that far back. I'd like to see them get a little bit more aggressive with her and give her a real chance to show what she can do here. She drops in class. I'm not ready to give up on this horse yet, Dan.
Miss Delicious is the number 6, daughter of California Chrome, and she pulled off a 25-1 upset in her second lifetime start, her 3-year-old debut. Let's watch that race right now. Miss Delicious just got a beautiful trip and ride under Jose Lezcano. She was able to step the half in 49-2 while controlling the pace. She sprints on home. Nothing really wrong visually from this performance, and maybe she gets a similar situation. It's just that she'll be facing tougher competition.
Yeah, I mean, those things are all true, but maybe this horse is just pretty good too, Dad. I mean, this was her first start off the layoff. She did get a pretty soft trip on the lead, but it's not like there was ever a point where it felt like they were going to run her down in the stretch. I thought she looked pretty good winning. She seems like a good-looking type of horse for a very good trainer. I think there are things to like here at a horse who's probably going to be a fair price.
Completing the field is the number 7, Double Blessed, 20-1 on the morning line. Stakes placed against State Breds down at Gulfstream West last year. Let's watch her most recent start up at Monmouth Park in an entry-level allowance race. And you see her down towards the inside. The jock tried to save some ground, maybe got a little bit in tight right here and on the turn as well. She comes with a solid enough run. I'm just not sure she's going to get enough pace this time around.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either, and I'm just not sure that she's necessarily landed in the right spot there. I mean, this race that we're watching was won wire to wire, so I guess that's something that you want to at least consider. I just didn't really see enough from this horse's run through the stretch to make me want to bet her back.
And the 4th place finisher from that race did come back to win, but needed a drop to the $25,000 selling ranks to win with a 74 Beyer. Top pick time for the Friday race of the day. Be very interesting to see what we get from Amy C. But I'm with Mike. I think Line Dancing, if he stays at 4-1, the morning line price, I think it's a very fair price for a filly that has shown some ability and is getting class relief and Lasix.
I agree with all that stuff, Dan. Listen, I bet her in the Edgewood. I bet her in the Regret. She was nowhere either time. I'm going to stick with her one more time in this race. I like her in the 1.
5-1-4-2 for Mike. 5-6-1-4 for me. Friday's race of the day, the 8th at Belmont's a good one. Best of luck.